my brother and I work together as Chircheo Films. He's the producer, I'm the writer-director. And we joined forces in 2011 to create a cycle of films about women. But not so much just about women, but about the feminine. And asking in these stories, what is our collective feminine nature? And how can we come back into relation with our home, which is the earth, to me, is ultimately as the core feminine. She Sings to the Stars is an independent feature film. It's about the desert, no water, a Native American grandmother who tends her corn, her half-Mexican grandson, and a white, faded magician traveling from Los Angeles. It's a story of drought and disappointment, wonder and possibility, the inevitability of change, and beauty, human potential. The grandmother is not magical. She lives in concert with all that is around her in the desert. And the two men who find themselves on her doorstep, one of whom is her grandson, stand to do a lot of learning around this older woman. And right now, we've been on the festival circuit across North America, Canada, and the US, coast to coast, and are coming to the end of our festival life, and the next step is distribution. As a small, independent feature with no big box office talent attached, we're obliged to take on distribution and marketing ourselves. Only 1 out of 250 features that are produced each year ever get distributed, which means nobody sees them. And we're determined to get this story out into the world. We've already received a number of awards even prior to the honors here at this festival. An audience response is very warm, and people are moved and describe it not so much as entertainment or going to a movie, but having an experience, because with this kind of a film that moves at what I would call a human pace as opposed to you're forced to go with the film or not. It's almost as though you have to make a choice to surrender to her world, where she is breathing, a novel idea in our day and age, and she is aware of everything around her. And one of the threads that weaves through the film is listen. Can you stop long enough just to listen? Not listening to something, but just listen, which forces you to become aware of where you are, who you are. So, having said all that, we have launched a crowdfunding campaign in order to raise money for marketing and distribution. And our deadline is May 1st. We would love to see it go overseas as well, because I think it's a story about our time. It's a story of coming home. And ironically here, you know, we have a native grandmother and half-Mexican grandson as characters, but one of the things that you come away with, or we came away with in this film, is we're all native to Mother Earth. And those of us in the dominant culture who have come off the land, it's time for us to come back in relationship with the land, and therefore in relation with one another, and see that we're all related.